Hey, all right, time for another video. It's been a ridiculously busy time, so I apologize for not getting one out sooner, but here it is. So I'm back. So I'm just reversing. So it's recently been my 1 year in real estate, 1 year playing the game, 1 year in and out on the graph, it's just non-stop. It's been a crazy year. I can't even believe it's already been a year. It feels much shorter. It's gone by so quickly. A little bit emotional actually when it was 1 year because I'm about to get my agent's license, which is kind of my biggest goal for a long time, well, since joining, and become a real estate agent. And yeah, I just want to kind of talk about what I've learned in this game, what I've learned in business, what I've learned in life over this past year. So just give a little backstory. Like, I didn't expect to go into real estate at all. It was kind of like something I fell into. Family's been in real estate for like 3 generations. I'm the third generation to do it. So all my aunts and uncles, my dad, my grandfather, my uncles, like everyone's in the game kind of thing. So I always never would have said I would have gone into real estate. Like, never ever. Like, why would I ever? But then I was like, finished high school. I was like, well, what am I gonna do now? No idea. I was like, what's the one job I can get into with the highest earning potential in the shortest amount of time? And that obviously is just real estate, because you sell one house, you get commission. The thing is, if you don't sell a house, you don't get commission. So high stakes game. I'm young enough to take the risk, kind of thing. So I was like, what the hell? Let's go for it. So I did it, and it was a graft, and it is a graft, and it's hard. But I've learned a lot, and I'm super grateful. So, if you want to start real estate, what is the number one thing I should tell you is that you have to know your stuff. Nothing else matters. Like, charisma and stuff like that, normal salesman stuff, that's important. But you got to know your stuff. You got to know what your area is doing. You got to know what your house is doing. You got to know why your house is worth it. And that's the biggest thing for me, is why is this house worth this much money? And how do you defend that? Because everyone's gonna be like, oh, the market's down, da, 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 da. But you got to be able to set out why. You got to know your valuations. You got to know your paperwork. You got to know everything. You got to know your clients. Like, you got to know everything, really. And I'm probably going to put out a more detailed list, but just the best advice I was given was one of the company directors said to me, he said, Luke, this is your agreement of sale. You've got to know it inside, outside, backwards and forwards, all that kind of thing. You've got to know your mandates. You've got to just know your paperwork. You've got to know what it means. You've got to know how you can use it. The reason being is you've got to know what your tools do so that you can fix a problem. That's the second thing I've learned about real estate. The best real estate agents always say yes. You got a problem? Yes, we can fix it. You got a problem? Yes, we can fix it. Why? Because we know our stuff, and we know how far we can push certain things. We know what capital gains means. We know what transfer things. We know how it's going to go, so that we have the confidence to say yes. And I'm fascinated by people in the industry, as well as like just people in general, how they think they're ever going to get past the business if you just say no. Like, that's a separate thing I've learned in life, is that you just got to say yes to everything. Every opportunity is a yes. The reason being is that I'm in a game where 3 people need to say yes. Right? The buyers, the sellers, and then me. If I'm not saying yes, then how are they going to say yes? So that's the kind of thing, is that you've got to be on positive all the time. Everything is yes, everything's a go for it, everything's I can do it. And then the knowledge to back that information up. All right, so you've got to know your stuff and always say yes. And then the third ones is sorry, that was a combat force guy, making sure I'm not doing anything wrong. Then the third one I'd say is always be on time and answer your phone. Like, just answer your phone, get back to people. Know who you're talking to. My biggest thing I had to learn the first 4 months was learning people's names. That's probably one of the hardest small things you can do, is that when you meet a buyer, hey, Mr. So-and-so, how are you doing? Da, da, da. And then you have to go to the seller and say, hi, this is so many times I'll meet a buyer and I'll really be thinking, okay, cool, I know what they're looking for, I know what their price is, because it's so easy to remember a client by what they can afford, what they're looking for. That's kind of how normally you remember people, but you don't remember their name, Susan, which is like, I know it's funny, but it's a very real thing, is that's how the game works. So I'm getting notifications and stuff. But that's a very real part of the game that people don't talk about. Is like, how do you remember people's names? Like, because if you suddenly go to seller, hi, this is, suddenly like you look really bad. And dealing with the embarrassment. Oh, the embarrassment, hey. Oh, just like, Some people, oh, they're just so rude and they don't pitch up, and then, like a very non-politically correct term for real estate agents just could be like a shit survey. You just got to take everything and just let it go. Like, you can't take anything personally. So if you're looking at getting into real estate, you can easily make 100,000 rand a month, right? Very easy. But you can easily make nothing. I think the average income for a real estate agent in South Africa is 6,500 rand. The range is from 300,000 to 6,500 rand, or to zero. So 100%. Listen, if this is the game for you, you need a car, you need to smile, you need confidence, and you need to be hungry, and you'll win. But it depends how long it takes you, kind of thing. You know, like, always on it, always be canvassing, always positive, always say yes. You can't get down. And there's so many downers. There's everything's a no all the time, but you push through. So yeah, that's what I've learned in real estate. I've learned that you got to know your stuff, and a good smile isn't enough. Then you got to always say yes, because you got to know your stuff in order to say yes, kind of thing. And then just be on time and answer your phone. Like, I think there were crazy statistics, like 25% of agents never get back to you. So that's such low-hanging fruit. There is so much low-hanging fruit for young, hungry guys to come in and be like, hey, I'm just going to answer my phone. When I came into real estate, the one thing I said, Luke, you're 18 years old, right? You don't have a social life, and all you do is paddle. So all you do, answer your phone and be on time. And I did, and sold a couple of houses. So that's the game. The game is meet your clients, be nice to them, know your stuff, and eventually it will work. But you just got to make sure you can survive up until that time. And don't spend your commission before you have it. Like, just don't. If you got 40k coming in, don't be like, sick, I'm going to spend all this money. Never count on the deal done until you have the money in your bank account. Like, that's the biggest tip I can give you, is don't count on the money until it's in your bank account. But yeah, otherwise, that's my first year in real estate. Definitely think, if you're thinking about it, give it a try, but make sure you got a safety net, because first 6 months are hard. The first year is very hard. But then you've been punched in the face enough, so you're a little bit tougher. But yeah, otherwise, have a good day, week, your life, and I'll see you on the playing field. Cheers.